not to stop. It was the way we had over here of living with ourselves. We'd cut them in half. A Band-Aid. It was a lie. And the more I saw them, the more I hated lies. Those boys were never gonna look at me the same way again.
No, I can't.
But I felt like I knew one or two things about
Respect I get. I have respect for you just for making this call. This is not an easy call to make.
He won't be so arrogant. Policeman ride.
You okay? What's that noise?
It's my mother.
You okay? Tell me about it.
Captain, where you going? I gotta find somebody. I need some information. Pick me up the other side of the bridge. Somebody go with him. Yeah, I'll go. I wanna go.
white coffee. It is love that stops us from being demons. Without love, there is then only fear to separate the demon from demonic action. Without love and fear, there is only force to separate demonic action from demonic conclusion. Without love, fear, and force, there is only one of us left, and his name is Satan Link. No subject, January 19th, 2008, 5:24 a.m., 7 mg nicotine. You can't hurt anyone with a word they wouldn't self-apply that time. At least these cats can find their center and direct their considerable energies toward worthwhile endeavors, as opposed to racing through life. They will accomplish much. Link. No subject, January 6th, 2008, 11:55 p.m., 15 minutes factional. It's that point at which you realize you can trust even your senses, and that facts and lies are the same thing, and all you can ever do is enjoy the fiction. Have a nice day. Link. No subject, January 5th, 2008, 7:50 p.m., 7 mg nicotine. Whatever you can do, or dream you can, begin with. Boldness has genius, power and magic in it. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, 1749-1832, German dramatist, poet and novelist. Link. No subject, January 5th, 2008, 10:32 a.m., 5 m drive. The actions of a savage bear fear at their root. Act with strength of heart, and nobility will sow seeds of respect in your peers. Link. No subject, January 5th, 2008, 10:30 a.m., 100 ml latte. The devil wreaks havoc with the hands of the weak-minded. Unable to assess own strength, they sharpen blades and mass armies, and aware of it crushes the fortunate shadows and ghosts. The weak-minded foe fights to destroy, rather than defend, and takes death toll over prisoner. The devil plays sonatas on the fears of the weak-willed. It crushes the poor for fear of their wealth, and enslaves the weak for fear of their strength. For fear of exposure, it clothes itself in academia and bravado. Incapable of self-knowledge, it takes steps it can't cover, and starts fights it can't finish. Take note then of the nature of your enemy and know where he lays, for though vicious in action and puffed large with hot air, the weak-minded foe will relent with a stare. Link. No subject, January 5th, 2008, 10:21 a.m., 500 mg and oscilling. You're honest when you're not lying, and not everyone is linked. No subject, December 18th, 2007, 4:23 p.m., 500 ml white coffee. There is a simple phrase, so oft ignored today. If you wish to work with words, you must have something to say. Link. No subject, December 18th, 2007, 4 p.m., 500 ml glass half full. We thought our words hollow, so light were they said. Too late did we find their weight was profound. Link. No subject, December 18th, 2007, 3:58 p.m., 500 mg glass half empty. We formed a loose alliance, wishing in time we would have more to give. Link. No subject, December 18th, 2007, 3:55 p.m., 7 mg nicotine. The flowers in plastic caught the eye from the car, but they envied the roots that would still feed the weeds. Link. No subject, October 19th, 2007, 5:17 a.m., 100 ml white coffee. The outside is always on the outside, the inside is always on the inside. We can't express our inner state any more than we can tell a person how to catch a ball. In the end, all we ever really do is keep throwing balls at them. Link. No subject, October 13th, 2007, 11:21 p.m., 500 ml Beck's beer. I have survived, with relative ease, a few incidents in my life that others have regarded as quite difficult. This has been simply because I feel sure that these difficulties are simply a prelude to something far, far worse. Link. No subject, October 10th, 2007, 3:17 a.m., 250 ml white coffee, 11 mg nicotine. A man stands on a deserted island without food or fresh water. He's a good swimmer, but there is no other land in sight. What direction does he swim in? Link. No subject, October 9th, 2007, 1:39 a.m., 11 mg nicotine, 250 ml white coffee. We are prison guards in a death camp for our own souls, and I am not speaking metaphorically. Link. No subject, October 3rd, 2007 3:40 a.m. 250 ml water. You see precisely that which you wish to see, not that which your ego wishes you to see. Link. No subject. September 25th, 2007 12:10 a.m. 25 mg chlorpromazine 250 ml milky coffee. The wisdom of the past is lost to us each day, one person at a time. Link. No subject. May 26th, 2007 12:30 a.m. 5 mg Camatrin 500 ml Stella Artois. No one ever changed the world with music, but every piece of music changes the listener's world. Link. No subject. May 11th, 2007 2:06 p.m. 5 mg Procyclidine 400 ml milky coffee. Most people who know how to do the job think they know how the job is done, but most people who do the job differently. Link. No subject. December 26th, 2006 2:16 p.m. 200 ml water. Yeah, I have opinions, but I'm not a fanatic. I don't actually do anything about them. Link. No subject. December 16th, 2006 3:37 p.m. Pondering the question of is it musical? There are a great many people who when asked this question does it fit inside the boundaries of the standard Western musical notation? Does it have chords, melodies, etc.? The more I think about it, the more I am forced to ask, is musical notation relevant at all in this day and age? When musical notation was introduced, it was introduced as a method of communication and recording. In fact, the primary mode of communicating music from place to place. With this advantage in mind, the rigid structures and restrictions that this system dictates are seen as a loss worth taking. Yet we are now in a time where these communication boundaries no longer apply. In fact, I would contend that we are now in a time where across the globe there are likely to be more devices capable of converting a digital copy of a recording of music than there are people capable of reproducing accurately the same music from a Western musical notation. In this time then, is the label musical still relevant, or is it simply an archaic protocol which, whilst useful as a guide and a historical anomaly, must surely be transcended lest we restrict ourselves and our sounds to a narrow shadow of their full selves? Link. No subject. December 16th, 2006 4:29 a.m. Though our roots all draw on one earth and find light in single sun, it's in the vastness of our spectrum that our deepest beauties won. Link. No subject. December 16th, 2006 3:56 a.m. 200 ml green tea. Should we be assailed on all sides by the tyrannous ogres of mediocrity and conformity, your aim shall find mirror in my own, our spines laid straight, sealed as one by our twinned intention. Link. No subject. December 13th, 2006 9:23 p.m. 6 ml aluminium. You have seen quite how big my desktop is. That thing hurts me when I move it. AC lose my room. It's rack mounted right. Yeah, but it has 6 hard drives and is made out of 6mm steel and is too long to fit inside any of my flight cases. Your many flight cases. Indeed, I mean we're back on the techno-fetishism again now. In other news, I have every piece of my studio plugged in at once in my studio, like absolutely everything. I need more jack-to-jacks, but that may happen and I haven't got enough MIDI cables, but I'm getting close to achieving something that could be vaguely referred to as a working environment. If I spend a lot of money on cables, I may actually achieve enlightenment spontaneously, or as an outside chance I might write another song. I might even use my patch bay. Wonders will never cease. No subject. December 13th, 2006 1:49 a.m. 5 mg Camatrin 200 ml spring water. I can tell time's passing because I keep finding empty coffee cups. Link. No subject. December 9th, 2006 2:45 a.m. What merry paths we lead around these pools so deep, dim we look upon the depth of them and take to dive within. The darkness calls a question up, but caution tells a lie of those who dove away from us and won't return alive. But as we circle all around these water-dim and deep, a pair of eyes looks up at us and sees a line of sheet. Link. No subject. December 9th, 2006 2:40 a.m. It is notable that many people seem unaware that atheism is a religious belief rather than the absence of
It hasn't really fucking changed, has it?
No subject. November 18th, 2006 11:05 p.m. 15 mg nicotine.
From the
thing about one Mrs. New York discs all
Doesn't take
dressed
long
the
to get rid of
same.
those, does it?
Or to put it another way,
Well,
the thing about
what has
putting
changed
on
then?
is saffron just doesn't work for me.
Has
Or should I say,
changed that much, really.
the
We
thing
still
about subtly crafted
Shit.
allusions to the true nature of my
Still need to eat, still need to live somewhere. Keep warm. So what has changed? Well, the fucking stories, innit? Fucking stories changed. See, like, when we first learned to speak, I don't think the first thing we said was fucking poetry. I don't think the first thing we said was la-di-da-di, isn't it a nice day? And the first thing we said was do that or I'll fucking kill you. So, what's the story now? So it is, we can get money for this. We have this for the money. We can do what you're told. You better do what you're told. And kill you. No, they don't kill you, do they? Put you in boxes. Put you in boxes. First of all, we can they're doing what they like. They put you in a box every day from 9 to 5. You do what you're told. You keep your head down. They'll let you eat and then you have somewhere to stay. And if you don't do what they want, they say, well, are you really bothering us, or are you just a bit of harassment? If you're just a bit of harassment, we'll say, oh, well, we'll put you in this other box. So you're going good, mate, you're not feeling too well. And if you really make a fuss, I tell you, we're going to put you in a fucking box for 25 years. They put you in all sorts of boxes. They put you in big boxes and small boxes. Small boxes where you're told to live and do what you're told. Bigger boxes where you're told, well, you can't go to the other boxes. People are different, they speak different. Well, you know what it's called when they push you around and put you in boxes. Keep you docile, keep you healthy, keep you quiet. It's called fucking farming. They fucking farmed animals. Just shut the fuck up and eat the grass.
No subject, August 30th, 2006, 7:19 p.m., 0:7 mg nicotine. Everything you know will be old-fashioned long before you know anything about it. The things that make you young are the same things that will make you old. Blink. No subject, August 26th, 2006, 12:45 p.m., 5 mg artane equals oral consumption. Have we so briefly met on the fields of war that you would take me as a servant? Let them your error serve as your lesson link. No subject, August 25th, 2006, 11:42 p.m., 5 mg Canadrin. Minus baby suggested a book tummy today I include a section, which we handily typed out below, as I loved it, planning to get it. The Blues as Such from Stomping the Blues, Blink, by Albert Murray, 1976. Sometimes you forget all about them in spite of yourself, but all too often the very first thing you realize when you wake up is that they are there again, settling in like bad weather, hovering like plague-bearing insects, swarming precisely as if they were indeed blue demons dispatched on their mission of harassment by none other than the chief red devil of all devils himself. And yet perhaps as often as not it is also as if they squat obscene and vulture-like, waiting and watching you and preening themselves at the same time, their long rubbery necks writhing as if floating. Not that they are ever actually seen. They are always said to be blue, even as common variety ghosts are always said to be at least somewhat grey. But being absolutely insubstantial, they are in fact completely invisible for all that everybody seems to have the distinct impression that they are always very small and not only plural but not so numerous as to be numberless. Still, even as they are represented as teeming, swarming, and writhing, nobody ever describes how they actually look, because they have no image. Thus they do not appear and disappear. They are there because they have already come, and they linger somewhat as if flinging with tentacles, and they go, mostly when driven, but never soon enough, nor do they ever seem to go far enough away even so. Once they have been there, they only shift from the foreground to the background, and maybe you forget about them for the time being, but only for the time being. All anybody ever presumes to describe with any precision is how you are likely to feel when they are present. You become afflicted as if infected by some miasma-generating microbe. You feel downhearted and uncertain. You are overcome and anxiety-ridden. So much so that you would think that their characteristic coloration would be something suggesting the grayness of low-hanging clouds rather than blue. But in trust, nobody ever seems to give that matter any specific thought at all, and there is even less concern about which specific shade of blue is involved. At the same time, however, nobody ever confuses anything about their behavior with the silky blueness of high and cloudless skies either. They are absolutely noiseless at all times. Their movements make no sound whatsoever, and they are evidently voiceless. They are said to speak, but only in the silent language of spirits. So even when they are quoted as if verbatim, you know the speaker is paraphrasing, because the accent and tone and even the volume and timbre are always obvious stylizations of a voice all too obviously his own. Moreover, no matter how concrete the references, you already know very well that the statement is meant only to be taken as allegorical. Item. When Jimmy Russian sings, "Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do?" Blues say, "I feel alright, but I come to worry you." Here it lies given as if literal, but not only is the voice still Russian's, there is also no confusion at all when the singular is used instead of the plural we. Nor do they ever seem to shock and terrify as some specters sometimes do, as often by simply vanishing and reappearing, and sometimes vanishing into thin air again as by popping into uncertain view from nowhere in the first place. You know they are there only because you feel their presence in the atmosphere once more, as you did the first time and the time before that, because everything, which is to say time itself, has somehow become heavy with vague but dire and disconcerting forebodings and impending frustration leading perhaps to ultimate doom. So sometimes at first it is as if you yourself have been draped with a leaden invisible net. Then you realize that you don't feel so good anymore, not because all at once you have been stricken, but because a dull and unspecific ache is beginning to throb. Then sometimes you feel yourself becoming rueful, or glum, or sometimes either sullen, mean, and downright evil on the one hand, or weak in the stomach and knees on the other. Sometimes it is as they themselves actually generate and inflict misery upon their victims, much the same as pathogenic bacteria and cause infection. But not always. Perhaps most often it is as if their primary purpose is to becloud your outlook by foreshadowing misfortune, and there are also times when they seem to come along with whatever the trouble is, or to issue from it, not unlike the side effects that are really only the symptoms of far more serious physical ailments. Also, as is likewise the case with many physical afflictions, sometimes you already know the cause as well as you know the symptoms, because all too often they are back again for exactly the same reason that they came to be there the times before. Not always, to be sure, but often enough for the consideration to be automatic. Indeed, it may as well be that the element of devote is sometimes the source of as much anguish and hopelessness as the actual casual incident, if not more, because it almost inevitably suggests, especially to those who have not yet come to realize that even in the best of times the blues are only at bay and are thus always somewhere in the not too distant background, that the mishap of the moment is but the latest episode in a string of misfortunes that are so persistent as to amount to a curse, and maybe even an ancestral curse at that. But no matter how they come to be there again, the main thing about them is how the operation need written, and your most immediate concern is how to dislodge them before the operation degenerates into utter hopelessness. So, the very first problem that it all adds up to is as specific as is the ghost-like vagueness of their very existence, which not everybody accepts as such anyway. What it requires is the primordial and ever-persistent effort to purify the environment once more. As in Oedipus aspects, for instance, which begins with the chorus of suppliants lamenting a curse that hangs over their city-state of cities and beseeching the hero king to seek out and dispatch the menace and restore good times. As in the Wasteland episode in the medieval romance of the quest in which the Nile comes into a region whose inhabitants are suffering under a blight because their ruler, known as the Fisher King, is apparently bewitched in his impotence. It extends not only to the housewives, but also to the cattle, the fields, and even the streams, as in Shakespeare's Hamlet, in which the young prince is charged by the ghost of his late father to rid the kingdom of Denmark of evil forces kept dominating. Also always absolutely inseparable from all such predicaments and requirements is the most fundamental of all existential imperatives, affirmation, which is to say, reaffirmation and continuity in the face of adversity. Indeed, what with the blues, whether known by that or any other name, always somewhere either in the foreground or the background. came to debate with himself whether to be or not to be. Nor was it, or is it, a question of judging whether life is or not worth living. Not in the academic sense of Albert Camus's concern with the intrinsic absurdity of existence per se. Hamlet's was whether things are worth all the trouble and struggle. Which is also what the question is when you wake up and is there again, not only around your head but also inside your head as well, as if trying to make you wish that you were dead or had other people on living. No subject, August 20th, 2006, 7:24 p.m. 250 soya yogurt. All of inspiration. A scientist is a view upon science as an experiment fails. Operations of scientific opinion have been lost spirit when theories were grown, retracted. Scientists understand that the pursuit of growth is not a path that leads to a place, that in fact it is a way of life, a way of thinking. These feats of life in the soul of you. To find God in the things with the soul is free. This is a selected them. Link. No subject. August 18th, 2006, 12:52 p.m. 5 mg procyclidine. The alarm on the front of the building didn't stop the break-in, but it helped the disinterested policeman establish a time of the incident when my neighbor told him it had interrupted the war footage on the news. Link. No subject. August 18th, 2006, 12:33 p.m. 0.7 mg nicotine. Democracy doesn't exist because its myth is based on the sleight of hand fallacy of a state governed by a political system, and yet while we got at the big brother antics of our government's inadequacy, it is Tesco's that decides how much we pay for the food that poisons us, and Sky that decides our opinions. The Greeks never freed the slaves, they just gave them money. Link. No subject. August 11th, 2006, 10:14 p.m. 5 mg Camadrin. The psychiatric profession have a lot of trouble with us psychics. It's hard to spend a lot of time herding animals without picking up on a trait or two. I was provoked into this pondering by the diagnosis of an associate with a borderline personality. The prime question it provoked was, borderline between where and where, exactly? Link. No subject. August 10th, 2006, 5:12 p.m. 300 ml caffeine solution. I can't go out, my antique jeans are dirty. Link. No subject. August 10th, 2006, 12:16 a.m. 500 ml water. There is a lot of love in this world just waiting to be given. I used to hitch. It meant a lot to me that I could put myself open to the world, simply stand on the side of the road, with no excuse, no CV, and just ask for help. It taught me how to trust in many ways, to know no matter how cold or wet it got, that if you just stuck it out, sooner or later a car would stop. I always imagined that when I had a car I'd give people hitches, but now I do have a car, I don't see people on the slip roads to give a ride to. I often wonder how many people in these long queues of cars are looking for hitchers just like I do. Just stick out your thumb, man. We're all still here. Blink. No subject. August 10th, 2006, 12:11 a.m. 200 mg Metrodent 5 mg procyclidone. Money I knocked over my pile of bricks. What's all this then? There's no need for tears. Come here, let's pile them up again. There's no harm done. How many upbringings am I gonna have? Children of spirals. Link. No subject. August 9th, 2006, 2:11 p.m. 500 ml green tea. Oh shit, man. I just remembered. God didn't say don't eat the apple, he said I'd steal 3 of the apples. They're sour. Really? You mean? You mean we've been hiding behind this bush for 6 trillion years, and now you tell me he's not mad at us at all? Well, yeah. Shit, man, I thought that grass was a bit strong. Link. No subject. August 7th, 2006, 10:22 p.m. 200 mg ibuprofen. I feel I don't have enough money, but you can put out a fire by throwing matches at it. Link. No subject. August 7th, 2006, 12:01 a.m. 500 ml caffeine suspension, 0.7 mg nicotine. How strange. that these hours of tension, this intense solitude and focus, this abstract seeking should lead to a feeling of genuinely beautiful emotion, the tender shared moment, the reflective thoughts of a child. How different, the feeling of the toucher from the touched. Wherein Mrs. Art, where source, is it really I who touches, or am I simply a messenger, an errand boy delivering? How little my part in this is then, and what you go to grasp for tips at the door. Wink.
guys. That's fucking great. I thought you were the one in the broken bridge.
I have respect for you just for making this call. This is not an easy call to make.
Don't be so arrogant. Policeman.
You okay? What's that noise?